was interested in getting closer to home. I had a nice job at Lehigh University as the head football trainer and hockey coach. So then when the situation at Lowell Tech opened up, they were looking for an athletic trainer, hockey coach. When I started, there was a change in the presidency, Jordan Duff, and he was a real avid sports fan. I worked with him on some of the structures and some of the scholarship money we could give to the athletes for all the sports.
I knew that Lowell was on the verge of having huge success. I was kind of a late bloomer. I only played 1 year of varsity hockey at Billerica High School. I wanted to go to a place that I could prove myself. I said, okay, I'll come here as a walk-on and prove to you that I'm good enough to warrant a scholarship. When you bring a world-class player like Craig in and other players to complement that, we got very good very fast.
Fortunately, we had kids that were hungry, kids that wanted to win.
78, 79, we were like 500 until my brother started playing on the team. It really brought us to another level. It was special. We had finally gotten to that pinnacle and peak as a group. We expected to win. We expected that we were going to be the national champs. I don't think our thinking was anything but at the start of that season that we were going to go to the national championship and win it with the players that we had.
We had a game at BC and we beat them 3-0. We were a Division II team, beating teams like Boston College.
It wasn't like, they didn't play, they played everybody. They played their best. We had Billy motivating us, letting us know where we stood in the pecking order of the hockey world. We're going to show these teams that we have a kind of program that don't have to take a back seat to anybody.
There's a lot of momentum, and I said, yeah, no, it's time to go with Division I. I was doing it for the good of the school and the reputation. A lot of people said, hey, they're a Division I team in disguise.
I was playing in Wilcox, Saskatchewan. A scout came out and recruited our team. A lot of people ended up committing without even a visit. When I did show up later on, I thought it was a great place. We went from 10 wins our freshman year to 10 losses our senior year. It was a great ascension from year 1 to year 4. Third year, we won a consolation game at the Boston Garden, and that was a big step for our program because to win a big game at the Garden was the step in the right direction, and the following year, I lost by 1 to BU in the final. We took consecutive steps like that so the people in 96 could make the following step. Tim is an incredible recruiter. For him to lose an assistant late in the summer and give me a call, that was a great happenstance. I spent 4 years here as an assistant and really enjoyed and learned a lot from Tim and Mark Taylor, and then moved on elsewhere for 12 years.
There was a lot of buzz about Lowell. I had a good relationship with Blaze, had a great interview and a great on-site visit, and it just kind of seemed natural to me. Going into my freshman year, I was expecting us to almost pick up where the team had left off the previous year. I remember being with the guys, whether it was in the dining hall or in classes, and just hearing the rumors of who was on campus for interviews. Ultimately, when we learned that it was an alumni and Norm, we were excited, relieved in a way, just to know that it was kind of one of our own that was taking over. Knowing that he was in our shoes, right? He was in Fox Hall. He did everything that we were kind of going through, put us at ease a little bit.
The program had had success in the past, but it was every 3 or 4 years. I did feel I knew how we could sustain success.
Our group was just so hungry to win games, and we were just willing to do whatever it took. They were preaching new things that we weren't used to, but we were kind of a group of 25 sponges that were just taking it all in. We just kind of took everything in from the new staff and truly bought in.
I wasn't focused on what they might have done in the past or didn't do. We were more focused on how we competed every day in practice and becoming the best version of ourselves possible. Competing was the biggest tagline every day.
That whole weekend, that experience in that game, it was a massive put Lowell on the map. We had a game plan going into it, and a lot of it was around stopping their big guns, and we did that. That was a big game just for us collectively also to believe in ourselves that we can beat a Miami, Ohio that was in Frozen Fours and NCAA tournaments every single year, coming off the year we had the year before. couple weekends in, we figure out that we have two #1 goalies.
That tandem was as good as anybody in the country.
All four lines were just so well balanced, from skill at the top to energy in the middle. We were extremely, extremely close just because half of the team had gone through a 5-win season. We kind of had gone through the lows and some of the highs. We were coming off of that high, and we just kept it rolling.
On two here. Arnold going in with Ruido. Arnold gets it. Wraps it around. Scores! Perseverance pays off, and the Riverhawks are on the board.
I can't tell you I had a single goal in my 20 years of playing, a wraparound goal. I saw that I could just take it wide, and when I was going to take it wide, I probably wanted to cut to the front of the net and make a move that way, but I was closed off. Next thing I know is I'm actually attempting a wraparound here, and it worked.
3 seconds remaining. Into the crowd. The seconds line down, and the UMass Lowell Riverhawks have won their first ever Hockey East Championship here at TD Garden.
I found junior hockey late in life, and when I found it at 16 years old, Cam Ellsworth of UMass Lowell was the first Division I school to show interest in me. Lowell just seemed blue collar from everything I had read and saw online.
That start was tough on everyone, and especially the freshmen that had never experienced anything before. They didn't know, and for us, we were like, we can't get back to what we were 3 years ago.
Every day was a little bit closer to getting where we wanted to be at the end of the year.
Once we had a chance to come together as a full group with the freshman class, and those guys started to take steps and to gain confidence at this level, that's when collectively as a group we started to go.
I had the privilege of playing with Arnold for probably 3/4 of my year, and nobody better than to kind of mimic my game around with him. Norm would always talk to us about being the underdogs. We were always the underdogs, no matter who you were playing, and on any given night. The way that people viewed us, we didn't care. We kind of took it. You let that fuel our fire. We're going to make it well known that we're the Riverhawks and we ain't going anywhere. We're here to stay. We're building a dynasty. Celebrate with those seniors, to see them leave with the ring was very special. That team wasn't going to take no for an answer. That was kind of the best way to describe it, and we kind of used that year to fuel our senior year. Those sophomore and junior year of us failing, you would think a lot of people going in still might feel that tension and pressure. We went in with absolutely none. You look at us warming up, we have nothing but smiles on our face. That's the loose moment that you recognize. You're not tensed up about it. You don't feel the pressure. You just know what you have to do, and you're going to go out and execute.
You can call it a dynasty. The Riverhawks are Hockey East champions for the 3rd time.
That was really exciting because beating BC in the final is setting a new standard for the program.
One of the Frozen Four and the regionals and going to the Garden back-to-back years. There's just so many great memories. In the moment, you don't realize it, but after the fact, being removed at this point in my life and our life as a group, we can look back and just realize and appreciate what we did and how hard it was.
I have a lot of pride in being a small part of those successful teams. Being part of certain games. There's several games that maybe didn't add up to a championship or anything substantial, but they were key for our development as a team.
Kapla at the line, fires through traffic. Gambardell on the back door, looking top corner, and he scores!
I look at the 4 years as the best 4 years of my life, and I look at it as the best decision I ever made. Not only did it shape my hockey career, but it shaped me into the person of who I am today.